Hello, Void. I made it. Okay. Last review for February. Last of the bad movie month. Then I can watch new bad movies. Or hopefully a couple good ones. And I ended this one with a with something. Okay. So, this movie it holds a special place for me. Honestly, I have no idea how this movie came to enter actual circulation. I really don't. One more time. It's a 10 movie collection. This is my 4th review on it. The rest of the films on here aren't as bad. Most of them are just forgettable. But the one I'm going to talk about today is not forgettable. I have not been able to forget it since I first watched it. And that is The Darker Side of Romance. Now, what is this movie about? Well, I have seen this movie at least 3 times on 3 separate occasions. I don't know what it's about. I only have tangential ideas about what it's about. And everything else, well, this movie doesn't work on most levels at all. So, I don't even know where to begin picking this mess apart, because the plot's so incoherent. And doing a play-by-play won't make sense either, because nothing about this will add up. Okay. So, just to give a taste of what we are, the movie more or less starts with apparently a homeless man playing with some sticks in the middle of the park. And a man walks up and beats him to death. After that, we cut to 2 girls who begin talking about relationships and love. What that has to do with the scene we just saw? I don't know. But they just start talking back and forth about her relationship status that she broke up with Patrick. Who's Patrick? Was the guy we just saw Patrick? Did the guy who wandered up and beat the man to death, was that Patrick? I don't know. But apparently she's leaving Patrick for a man named Flip. Yes, his name is Flip. Was that guy Flip? I don't know at that moment. I have no idea who any of these people they're talking about are. But they act like I'm supposed to. Anyway. And the way this movie is seen as shot, first off, the line delivery on everyone is atrocious. So, this scene of these 2 girls talking, gives one establishing shot, and then for the most part just keeps close up. A girl will say a line. Cut to the other girl. She'll say her response. Cut back. Response. Cut back. Reaction look. Cut back. Continuation. Occasionally, he'll get a shot of them doing 2, where one person will say a line, but every time it switches who's talking, it cuts to the next person, back and forth. It's disorienting. And what they're talking about doesn't matter or make sense. And one of them's just responding with standard, well, what do you want to do then? Well, I don't know, it's a complicated situation. Well, how does that make you feel? This is not how people talk. But that's how they talk. Then we cut to the man that we saw before, wandering around again. There's a lot of him wandering through the darkness. Still don't know who he is. He almost picks up a hooker before shoving her and then going to beat up men in an alley before punching walls and then drinking vodka. And then suddenly, we're at the park, where one of the girls we just saw is having a picnic with her friend and apparently Flip. And this guy walks up to give her something she dropped. Now, I get what they're trying to do there, to do some weird sort of almost meet cute. A meet cute with a guy who just has been spending the rest of the movie beating people to death. But she just had, like, a blanket from her picnic thing had blown maybe a foot away from her. Him, who was about 30 to 40 feet away as he passed by, noticed that, wandered all the way to her to hand that back to her. And his delivery is amazing. It's not good, but it's amazing. And he's just staring at her like a creep and talking in a way that would make you want to put him on some sort of list of some sort of predator list. Yes, it was nice meeting you. Oh yeah, thank you. And then he just stands there staring at her before wandering away. Her friends show up and we finally meet Flip, so he wasn't Flip. It's not Patrick either, I don't think, because she didn't know him. Still don't know who he is. Then we finally meet Flip, and oh dear God, this man is atrocious. His delivery is worse than sitcom line delivery, and he's the biggest frat boy, self-indulgent asshole you can imagine. More on that later. We're busy with our mystery man being attacked by a savage man in the park now, out of nowhere, which really threw me off the first time I saw this movie, because I thought, oh, maybe I was mistaking who was beating people to death. I thought it was him, but now he's being attacked. But no, it's just a random rabid man in the park, I guess. I don't know. They never reference it again, other than when our main girl sees him later, asks if he's okay from the attack. He got bitten. I don't know. It just goes back to him wandering around at night, punching walls. Anyway, the next day, her name is Elizabeth, just to make this easier. So he meets Elizabeth again. Finally gives his name as Davis Shroud, I guess. And then asks her to dinner. And she doesn't want to go to dinner with him. She keeps trying to find a way, but then just for some reason accepts. But when Flip finds out, he's territorially jealous and does all he can to hedge him out. And then we spend the next good chunk of the movie going back and forth with Flip sabotaging Davis's romantic efforts. I don't know why we're supposed to be rooting for Davis. He's been killing people all movie. Then we get to the crux of the issue with Flip. We already know he's an asshole. But he keeps showing up stalking her, like at her door. Oh, I haven't seen you yet today. He was told she has plans. He doesn't leave. He just comes in. Anyway. Point is, her best friend, whose name I really can't remember, she's out drunk, and Elizabeth was on the phone with Flip, and she was about to go to bed, but her friend calls drunk, wants a ride home. After arguing back and forth about her doing it or whether she should ask Flip to do it, Flip agrees to go do it. But while this is happening, Flip is masturbating during the conversation. Did I mention he stole her panties earlier? I didn't, but he did. This is the other main guy. Meanwhile, Davis is out beating a cashier to death at a supermarket, but has so much little to do with anything, I almost forgot to mention it. Though before that, the film does give one of the best line deliveries I have seen anything, where Davis pulled up to the store, parks in the handicap slot, and then gets chewed out by an old man for doing so. Hey, you can't park there! Which Davis just turns, looks right at the camera. Sorry, I haven't been feeling very well lately. It holds on him. And it cuts back to the old man just going. And then it cuts right back to before he goes in, gets disrespected by the cashier, and then later kills her. He's just beating these people to death with his bare hands, by the way. He's not using any weapons. So anyway, the point I was trying to make before about Flip masturbating is he then goes to pick up her friend and has sex with her. She's drunk, he clearly lures her in, and then he tries to be the asshole and blame it on her. So, real winner. Anyway, then Davis is over at her place when he goes to try to smooth things over before she tattles on him. And those two fight until the movie ends. And Davis also almost strangles Elizabeth because he's got anger problems. Obviously, I mean, he's been killing people all movie. That's it. The movie ends. It's a cool 53 minutes. Done. What point it's trying to make? I don't know. I think Flip ended up killing Davis. But now he's the new anger management problem guy. I don't know. I don't know what this movie is trying to get across. The back of the box here. Reference that a dark and enigmatic man ravages the night until he finds a woman who may be the only one who can deliver him from evil. What? But in the dismay of any unfortunate soul across his past, the nighttime rampages of this frenzied insomniac. Okay, most of his rampages were during the day, thank you. Only, one of them was at night, and that was the cashier. And I guess, he picked up the hooker. But beating the homeless man to death, that was during the day. A lot of his wandering around punching walls, that was all during the day. Anyway. His rampages will increase in brutality when he finds out she's in love with the very things that have driven him to the depths of madness. What are you talking about? We don't know what drove him to this. We have no backstory on him at all. We don't know anything about this man, other than he beats people to death. The movie never once actually says insomnia, by the way. That's just the back of the box. Anything I can pull up on IMDb just mentions him having anger management issues. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Okay. So, the movie came out 2002, and through the magic of IMDb, I think I have finally found an answer for what the hell. And the answer is the movie's budget. This movie apparently was made for $150. Using borrowed equipment and a completely volunteer and amateur casting crew. By a 21-year-old student writer-director. Which is fine. That's fine. But how did this get released into the wild? Who let this go and said be free? This movie is fascinating. None of it adds up. None of it makes sense. It's just staring into madness. The writer-director has gone on to do other films, and he has his own website where he goes about it, but I haven't seen any of his other ones. Okay. This is a one MacGuffin film, obviously. But, on the other hand, I think more people should see this as a cautionary tale. I don't know what happened here. Something happened. I just don't know what it was. And the more I watch the movie, though, it doesn't give me any more answers. Tom Madigan, who are you? That's the writer-director. What have you seen? Who hurt you? I'm gonna go lie down. Yeah, sounds good. This is my last bad movie for this month. I'm gonna start watching something better for a little while. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one of these anytime soon. Let me tell you that. Even though I've got many more bad movies that I know about. But I'm sure I'll find plenty of ones I don't know about. Be well, everyone. Please be well.